Hey guys, so I wanted to make this video because I watch a lot of videos on YouTube about camping gear and moto camping, and I see a lot of advice that was way outside of what I was looking for. And so I wanted to put together a video. I'm not a professional, as you can see. I just wanted to show you guys, fresh after a 400-mile ride through the Arizona desert on my bike, what I actually pack, what I bring, and why I use it instead of something else that you guys may be using that you've seen on YouTube and is highly recommended. So this is my bike. I ride a 2023 KTM 690R. I've ridden for my whole life. The last 7 years I've been riding adventure bikes a lot. I really enjoy anything out in the dirt, but the adventure bike ride's been my main thing. I had a KTM 1090R. It was a great bike. Did a few BDRs, did a lot of overland travel with it, did a lot of moto camping, and decided I wanted to go with a little bit lighter bike. So we can get into a different video where we talk all about the bike and why I swapped out, but that's not what this video is for. This one is specifically to talk about my gear, my pack out. So again, you can see that I haven't washed the bike, I haven't unloaded anything. This is exactly as it came back to my house from the ride. So we'll just go ahead and dive right in. So looking at the bike here, you can see a lot of the accessories that I keep on the outside as everyday items for regular use. You can see I've got my moto crutch here. This particular one I made out of an old crutch, but you can buy these at a number of vendors like Rocky Mountain or Cycle Gear. This guy here, you put it under the peg, extend it, lift the bike up, and you can do a tire change, you can do chain service, those types of things. I keep my water bottle on the outside accessible, so when we pull over and grab a quick drink. I've got my Garmin GPS. This is a must-have for when I'm out in the desert. And you can see I've got my first aid kit right here, readily accessible. So starting with the first aid kit, everybody runs different items. I'll show you some of the things that I carry. These are, in my opinion, this should be your number one item that you focus on immediately when you get your bike and you decide to start moto camping. I recently upgraded to this red bag from Moscow Moto. The reason that I did is in the event that somebody else comes upon the scene to help me, I didn't want them to have to fumble through my things to try and figure out where I might have a first aid kit. I wanted it to be right there at the top, readily accessible. So kind of popping this guy open here, we can pull out, wipe off all of the debris that comes out. So I've got the Moscow Moto bag in here, and inside of this bag, you guys can see all of my different items. So this flap here is if I were to lose it, somebody would have all my info, or if I am incapacitated, they would have phone numbers for my family. I carry a SAM splint, I've got some gauze, I have some liquid skin. These are zip sutures, so this is if you had a bad cut, these are going to go on like a sticker with a zip tie in between and kind of close that up. I've got some tissues, some tape, I've got Band-Aids, I've got a full basic kit in here with your Band-Aids, your burn care, all those types of things. So this is to me the most important piece of equipment that I never leave home without. Always have the safety kit. So the next place that I store things that I think are equally important are my tail bag. I opt for the tail bag. Some guys like a tank bag, some guys like crash bar bags, a lot of different options out there. This particular one is the Rig Gear Adventure Bag by Nelson Rig. I like it, it's small, it's compact, it fits all the things that I need. Inside of this are going to be the things that I need most often in a quick moment. So we're on the side of the road, it's cool out, we're taking a break, got my beanie. I don't have hair, so that keeps me nice and warm. Tissues, I'm one of those guys that always needs them. My bathroom kit. This particular bag came from Hilltop Packs. They're a small company. They're easy to support because they make great products at good prices. Inside of it, I keep all my basic essentials, wipes, trowel, etc. This one I keep up top in case I need it. Next up, I keep my stove up here for a variety of reasons. I carry it with me all the time. This particular one is my go-to that I have now. I've tried the Jetboil, I've had the MSR wind burner, I've had a number of different stoves that I've tried over the years, and this one here has been the best. This is another Hilltop Packs bag. This is one of their standard sizes that fits this GSI Outdoors setup perfectly, and it kind of snaps down over the top of the lid to hold everything together. This is my coffee cup. This is my bowl if I'm going to cook food in it. This is the place that I boil my water. Inside of it is my MSR pocket rocket, my fuel. The orange guy is a little pot holder so I don't burn my hands. And then there's a measuring cup inside of there so that I can fill it up with water to cook my food, etc. This little sleeve comes off of here so that you can cook it. Then it slips down in there so that you don't burn your hands, keeps it insulated. Again, this one works perfect for my coffee. I like to have coffee in the evening, coffee in the morning when I'm out on a ride. And I only do the dehydrated meals, so this is perfect. I can boil the right amount of water, put it in. I know some of you guys out there like to cook things like chili and soups and all kinds of stuff out on the trail. This probably isn't the one for you, but if you're the kind of person that's really out there to camp as a means of getting out and doing more riding, this is probably the right one for you. I also keep some fire starter. This is Outdoor Vitals Pyro Putty. This one I don't have a lot of experience with, but it's great to have in there in case I do need to start a quick little fire. This here is my water filter. It's a pretty basic setup. Everybody likes different ones. I don't have a preference. I've never actually had to use this, thankfully, but I carry it as a just in case. I've got a spare set of gloves. We all get out there on the road and on the trail and back and forth, and you go from, I use motocross gloves or enduro gloves most of the time when I'm riding, but when you get out on the highway, it's nice to have some padding over your knuckles in case you catch a rock, or these are a little thicker, keep your hands a little bit warmer. I keep my headlamp in here. This is a pretty essential tool if you're going to be moto camping, is some sort of headlamp. This particular one is the Nebo Micro. I like it. It's not the best one out there, I don't think. It's not the worst one out there, I don't think. But it's good. It's lightweight. It packs down small. It fits in. It's rechargeable. I've got a small bellows that I carry. This is the pocket bellows. This guy extends out, so if you are starting a little campfire, if you're somewhere where it's legal and safe to do so, you can extend it out so you're not putting your face in the campfire to kind of get it going. I don't use this a whole lot, but it takes up no space. It weighs nothing, so I always just keep it in there in case I need it. I've got a citronella wristband. Nobody likes mosquitoes. Again, this is one of those things that packs down tiny and weighs nothing, so I always carry it. I've never used one, but if I need to, I have it. I've got a small gator. This one is more for if I'm riding in heavy dust, I can take my helmet off, pull it over my mouth, and hopefully I'm breathing a little bit less dust. Or if it is extremely cold, this will kind of help me with that. This is an Outdoor Vitals item as well. I do carry a small lighter. Goes right in that theme with the fire. And then I carry my spoon in the pack with the stove, because it just makes sense to have it there. I like the longer ones because, again, I eat the freeze-dried meals, so I'm reaching down into the bottom of the bag, and if you've ever done that, you know that you need the longer spoon. So that's pretty much what I carry in this tail bag. I do have some snack trash from the side of the road. I do not leave my snack trash anywhere, obviously. I pack it back in here like everybody should. This is my everyday. This never comes off my bike. I can run to the grocery store and throw a couple of things in there. I can run to the hardware store, put some nuts and bolts, whatever it is that I'm trying to do. I keep this on all the time. I love this bag. Highly recommend it. I do have a larger one on a different bike. The Nelson Rig bags have done me very well. Really good company to work with, really easy. I buy everything directly from them when I can. If not, I buy it through Amazon. And I've had to have a few things warranted because zippers stuck, and they were really great about it. So that would be the tail bag. So the next place that we're going to look at is going to be this bag here. These are the Moscow Moto soft pannier bags, 25 liters both sides. I have tried bigger bags. I've been downsizing my gear for the 7 years I've been adventure riding, and these bags are even a little bit too big for what I carry. But we've tried the the Reckless ones and all those types of things. And these really have been the best setup for us out there riding. Let me pop these guys open here. So in this one, I carry the Click Chair CLIQ. I got mine off of Amazon. I saw a quick ad for this on social media, and it pops out really quick, really easily, holds me up. I'm about 210, 215 pounds. I've got about 3 years on this particular chair and absolutely love it. I recommend it to everybody. This is an Outdoor Vitals Puffy. This is a nice little vest. It keeps me warm at camp. You can also use it, as you can see, it folds into its own pocket. This guy here can be used as a pillow. I don't use mine as my pillow because I don't want it to smell like drool. So, you do you. This here is the Outdoor Vitals sleeping bag liner. I didn't use one of these for a long time. I resisted it because it was an extra piece of gear that I had to carry. But more than anything, this works like a sheet inside of your sleeping bag. If you purchased a really nice sleeping bag and you want to keep it nice for longer, that means that you want to wash it less times because that wears it out. And frankly, on a multi-day ride, sometimes we do as many as 7 to 9 day rides. I don't want my sleeping bag to get sweaty and funky, so this guy here, I can keep it, I can wash it in a river, dry it out, whatever I need to do. The Outdoor Vitals one has been really good. This is the mummy shape one. I really like it. This here is what I call my ditty bag. That's that's what backpackers seem to call them. This is my little bag that I bring into the tent with me. So when we get to camp, I set up my tent. This guy goes straight inside. I started off with a really huge one. I had all these fancy gadgets that I had to bring in. It was a lot of stuff that I found myself almost never using. This one here is it's technically a pencil case that I bought at Walmart. Looks like a little duffel bag. I like it. Inside of it, I have a Nemo Philo Elite pillow. I carry that in there. I have the Flex Gear, Flex Gear air pump. This is the smallest one that they offer. Works really well. That snaps directly into my air pad. I have what's called a hygrometer. This one for me answers a lot of questions in the morning. We all like to ask how cold was it last night? I bet it was so cold. This has an app. It goes directly to my phone. I hang this inside of my tent before I go to bed at night, and in the morning I can track and see exactly how cold it was in my tent. I do keep a couple of hand warmers, things like that. I have found that these are pretty helpful little devices. If it's really, really cold out, you can get them going and you can put them in the tent with you. You can put them in your socks if you need to keep your feet warm. A wide variety of different uses for that, or to use them as you're supposed to and warm your hands up. So like I said, this guy goes directly into my bag or my tent right when I get to camp immediately. This is my sleeping bag. I use a Big Agnes bag. I'm not going to get into all the details of each person's bag. You can see that mine packs down pretty small. I've had it where it's the size of a softball. I've had it compressed down that way and this way and all these different ways. This MTAC military tactical gear bag, size medium, I got it off of Amazon. I like this one because I can cinch it down sideways so that when it's in my bag, standing up, it takes up less space vertically. And that's how I like to carry it. This is the Big Agnes Air Core Insulated Sleeping Pad, 25 by 78 inches. I'm about 6'2", like I said, about 210, 215. This particular pad fits me really well. It's very well insulated. I believe it's around R7, somewhere in that range. I just use one pad all year. When we ride and it's hot, I use this pad. When we ride and it's cold, I use this pad. The biggest thing is I have spent a couple of nights on the wrong pad and ended up really, really cold because it sucks your heat right down into the ground and it's very terrible for you. This one does admittedly squeak a bit when I use my Big Agnes tent, and this pad, for whatever reason, the two of them go together and make some horrendous squeaking. The people that I ride with complain about it, but I always seem to sleep fine. So this is the entire contents of this bag here. So I've got my chair, I've got my puffy that folds down into its own pocket, I've got my Outdoor Vitals sleeping bag liner. my Big Agnes Aircore Ultra insulated pad, my little ditty bag, and my sleeping bag. I always carry a 15-degree sleeping bag. It's rare. I'm in California. It's rare that I'm camping below that temperature. Probably wouldn't be enjoyable on a motorcycle below that temperature anyways. If it's really hot out, which I've done, I've camped out near Havasu and right on the edge of summer, and I just don't zip it. Or sometimes I just sleep in my my liner, But I bring the same one every time. I had a 40-degree bag, and I had a 50-degree bag, and I had all these different bags, and it filled up my whole garage. And one of my complaints was that I had all this gear that I used on one trip per year, and I started figuring out that it was better to buy that piece that I really wanted, that was more expensive, that packed down smaller, and I could just use it all the time, rather than have a bunch of medium-priced or low-priced items that I wasn't very happy with. So, again, these are the contents of this bag. Still have the first aid kit. This is everything I carry on one side. This kit, this setup, is like probably my 15th iteration, and I've sold gear, I've given gear away, I've loaned it to people, because I ended up with so much stuff that I listened to people online, like hopefully you're listening to me right now, and I bought the wrong gear because I didn't know what I was trying to do. Everything I do is leaning a little bit more towards that enduro side, so I like to get out on a trail that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and sometimes when the bike's packed with all that extra heavy gear, it's a bit harder to ride. So these items are very minimalist by comparison to some of the things you'll see on other channels. So that's these items here. Alright, so now we're going to move to the other side of the bike, and I'll show you guys what's in this pack. So in the front pouch, same as where I have the first aid kit on the other side, what I carry on this side is another Moscow Moto bag, and this bag is the 4-liter Oxpox. Inside of this is my water bottle, and this water bottle is what I use for cooking, washing my hands, washing different pieces of tooling, things like that. This guy here is the 3-liter Hydro Pack bag. I've been using this for some time. This one, I was really worried about it in the beginning, and I bought a bunch of other super heavy duty ones because I was worried they were going to leak and all these things. This particular bag, other than me spilling water on myself almost every time I open it because I'm squeezing the soft bag, this has been a really good bag. Again, 3 liters seems to be a very adequate amount. On this 690, I have to get gas about every 200 miles. So about every 200 miles I can add water in if I need to. I like to, before we head to camp, I like to make sure I'm maxed out, that my water bottle and this bottle are both full. That way, in the event that I got stranded at my camp for any period of time, I would have an ample amount of water. So in this bag right now, this is the material that's in here from the end of the trip. So this isn't something that I would normally carry in there. This is my hot wired jacket. This is the Cycle Gear hot wired brand. This is my first heated jacket, and I really like it. It's done me very well. We've ridden in some pretty cold temperatures, and this guy here keeps me nice and warm underneath my regular motorcycle jacket. I'm bringing home with me one Next Mile Meals steak omelet breakfast. I did not eat breakfast at camp, so I ended up having that extra. I use the Outdoor Vitals tent. I've used a number of different ones. I was very happy with my Big Agnes tent for a number of years. I had the bike packing tent that packs down really small. It was very lightweight, it packed well, very durable, but I wanted something that was even more minimalist, something that had even less pieces to it. And I went with Outdoor Vitals, has what's called a trekking pole tent. For those of you backpackers, you know what it is. The rest of us don't. Backpackers carry trekking poles when they're out hiking in the backcountry, and instead of having poles built into your tent that snap together like ours do, you have guy lines and you put your trekking poles in there. Ironically, these are trekking pole replacements, carbon fiber made by Outdoor Vitals, for those of us that don't carry trekking poles. But these pack down much smaller than my Big Agnes ones did, and they're considerably lighter being carbon fiber. So I've opted to go that route. Very happy with the tent. I always carry a pair of slides. The first thing I like to do when I get to camp is open up my chair and take off my boots that I've been wearing all day long, and I throw on my slides so that I can, scoot around camp and set up my tent without being in boots. So for a 2-day ride, 1 night, this is my clothes bag. In here, I've got spare underwear and I've got spare riding socks. Those seem to be the 2 most important things on most rides. In the beginning, much like everybody else, I carried 2 pairs of jeans and a pair of shorts, and what if I go swimming in a river and all these things, and I ended up filling up these bags with clothes. So this is the bare essentials. In the bottom of this bag is all of the fabric for my Outdoor Vitals trekking pole tent. It looks huge when you look in this. This is a Fortius 2-person tent. This is, it can pack down. It's super lightweight. It's meant to be carried by a backpacker. So I put this in the bottom of my bag. That way, if I do catch a rock or something on my soft bag, this will take a blow, and it packs down all the way down into the bottom of the bag. So that's everything that I need for the tent, minus my stakes, which, again, Hilltop Packs. I put the MSR groundhogs in there. They've got a funny little groundhog bag. And I keep my hammer in this bag all the way at the bottom. Everybody has, for whatever reason, their own preference on a hammer. This particular one I made myself. I looked at all the different hammers that were out there, and they just didn't do what I wanted. So this one's a piece of chromoly 1-inch tubing. I welded a plate on the end. I made my own little axe head for it, because the most I ever do is chip away at some brush. And then on the handle, I've got some electrical tape and some duct tape wrapped around several wraps so that if I need them, I have them. And that's everything that I carry in these bags for a 2-day ride. So 2 days for me in this particular case was close to 400 miles through the desert. It was around 80 degrees. The terrain was rocky, sandy, rough. We did rough camp out in the middle of nowhere, and all of these items, which may seem very minimalist to some people, were enough not just to keep me alive, but to actually keep me comfortable. That was a comfortable chair, comfortable jackets, comfortable tent, my sleeping pad, all of these things. They are on the mid-range price side, but they were all there to do everything I wanted to do and kind of help me to be comfortable while lightweight so that I could get out in the desert and have all the fun that I want to have without carrying around this heavy load of gear. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I highly recommend Outdoor Vitals, Big Agnes, Nelson Rig, Moscow Moto. Every brand that I've mentioned out loud in this video is someone that I would recommend. Go to their website, check them out. Nobody sponsors me. I have endless amounts of gear that I've bought from various manufacturers, and these are the things I like best so far. So these are the things that I've found by watching YouTube backpacking videos for advice on what the newest best gear is, or motocamping videos, or just going into REI and trying things out myself. So if you guys have any questions, leave it in the comments and message me, and I'm happy to respond, help out. Most of the places that I buy gear from, they are also the same. They like to answer questions and help out. So thank you.